Hello from Ontario, California, where the Salvation Army has been serving since 1973. This corps has a successful after-school program helping kids reach their goals, as well as music lessons and other programs. The Ontario Food Pantry serves 17 surrounding cities, providing food baskets, school supplies, sack lunches for the homeless, toy distributions, rental assistance, hygiene boxes, referrals, and so much more. Lieutenants Osvaldo and Rosalia Perez have asked for prayer so that all their programs become a door of hope for the community. They'd like us to pray for the volunteers that are the feet and hands of Jesus, and most importantly, pray that they are more like Jesus in everything they do.
Hello. Lent is a season of remembrance and preparation of our hearts to receive God's grace. Throughout the years, Lent has looked very differently, and certainly this year is not the exception. After a hard year of many people ended up with so many questions than answers, we go to the book of Prophet Hosea, chapter 12, verse 6, and it says this: "But you must return to your God, maintain love and justice, and wait for your God always." The prophet reminds us on these verses that we ought to return to our God, return to our first love, to reconcile our thoughts and actions, to maintain love and justice. Lent is a time of reflection, a reflection of our life, of how it's been, especially through a difficult year that we just went by. There's a story in the Bible of a man named Zacchaeus, who had a time where he reflected on his life and made a point to climb up at a tree and see Jesus go by. It was a time to reflect about his life and what it had been. Little did he know, Jesus would not only come into his house, but he would come into his life. Lent is a time for that, to allow God and to come into our hearts, into our life, but also to reflect on what He's been for us. That day was a life change for Zacchaeus. Being in Jesus' presence was all that he needed to realize what his life had been, but also realize what his life could be. He had waited for such a long time, and what he had waited for was at his house. And it was time. And it was time for him to return to God. He realized at this moment that it was that he was missing in his life: Jesus. I pray that this Lent season, we have allowed ourselves to reflect in our lives on what it's been. But also we have allowed ourselves to be less like us and be more like Him. God bless you.
Ambiciones vienen siempre a la mente, mostrando atracciones mil, pero en el corazón mi anhelo fuerte es ser siempre como Jesús.
Mi solo anhelo
fruto de la vida trae esperanza. Deseo a un galardón, pues la ambición primera de mi vida es ser siempre